Testing, testing. Yo guys, Cali G here, and just over 5 years ago, I dropped out of university to pursue my dream of becoming a full-time business owner and content creator. I honestly didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I just knew I wanted to be my own boss. I knew I wanted to build a business, build a brand, and just be a full-time creative. Fast forward to now, I run my own clothing brand. I teach design and product development and work with other brands and creatives. And it's just crazy because I used to be a fitness coach. 5 years ago, I had no idea that I was gonna be doing this full time. So basically in this video, I'm gonna bring you guys along my journey and just talk about how I went from university dropout, fitness coach, to now full-time clothing designer. And hopefully you guys can get some inspiration or even just relate to some of the struggles that I went through. I'm very excited to share. Thank you for being here. Let's get into the video. So back in uni, I was studying kinesiology. The program I was in was called exercise science. This was in Montreal. I had amazing times there. Like, it was such a great part of my life. So I started posting on social media, honestly, just for fun. I was sharing meals I was eating, my fitness progress, random recipes, workouts, literally anything to do with living a healthy lifestyle. And I honestly fell in love with the process of making content. Social media really just allowed me to pursue my passion and be creative about, what I was doing, which was fitness at the time. As I kept posting on social media, people started asking for help. So I was basically making free training programs. This was just my homies at the time. Once they started coming back to me and telling me all the results that they were getting with these programs, then I realized I could maybe turn this into a business and do it with people that I didn't know. I was getting people just follow me on social media that I didn't even know. They were just asking me random questions about fitness. How to do this, how to do that. And I realized, I know how to make programs. I know how to do this. I can make a business out of this. And that's when I began my first business venture. So after I sold my first program for $50, that's when I realized I could turn this into a business. And fast forward a couple years, I turned it into a full-time business. We cracked 6 figures in 2021, and that was a huge year. Being able to make 6 figures online, doing something that I loved, it was unheard of. But also at the same time, I was grinding my ass off. I was working every day, sun up to sundown. You know what they say? Your dream job is still a job. I brought on 2 of my close friends as coaches at the time, who are still my homies today. Even back then, when I was doing fitness, I still had a love for fashion, passion for fashion. My content was never just gym pics. I was thrifting. I was wearing fits to the gym. It was the healthy lifestyle. It was fashion. It was mindset. It was the lifestyle when I started mixing fashion with fitness. That's when I got some real viral videos hit on TikTok, and that's when everything changed. Crazy shot. So the pivot point. How did I get into designing clothes full time? So at the time, I was still a fitness coach. I wanted to make clothes for my community, for all of my clients, just for them to rep the brand and rep what the message was about. The brand was called Health Hustle at the time, and we were really just repping the healthy lifestyle, the hustle of the fitness grind. And so we put Health Hustle on hoodies. That's when everything changed. I literally had zero idea on how to make clothes. No fashion background, no schooling, no knowledge, nothing. So I called up my local screen print shop, and I just know I wanted a decent quality hoodie. I wanted to sell it for a relatively cheap price just for my clients and community. So I called up my boy that knew how to make graphics, and he made a graphic. We made a couple tweaks, and then we put it on a hoodie, and we did the photo shoot and everything. Also, I feel like there was a huge gap in the market too. There was not really any cool brands that were doing gym wear, kind of like bringing streetwear into the gym. I was like, how can I make this cool, or add more streetwear culture into this? And over the years, it's been such a learning curve, going from screen printing on a hoodie at a local print shop to now doing fully custom cut and sewn pieces with manufacturers all over the world. I work with manufacturers in Turkey, in the US, in China, in Canada, pretty much all over. I just loved it. I kept going. I just kept making clothes. I kept doing drops. And that first hoodie, man, the Health Hustle hoodie, was my first step into the world of making clothes. I would not have known that I'd be doing this full time today. Chapter 3, Going All In. So within this 3-year period, this is when I really learned all of my skills. I started to really dive into the creative scene here in Vancouver and just meet a ton of people, work with a bunch of photographers, models, stylists. This is a time where I feel like most people kind of need to go through it in order to get decent at something. Putting your head down and just working at a specific skill and just getting better and better through just reps. So yeah, I was pretty much teaching myself everything. I basically went from realizing that I didn't want to build a fitness brand, and upon that realization, I wanted to go full-time into fashion and stop coaching. Now, coaching was an amazing part of my life. I learned so much about business, sales, how to coach others properly, how to get people results, etc. I just wanted to go all in on building a clothing brand. So that's what I did, man. I dropped the name Health Hustle, I rebranded to HH World, and basically just started making cut and sewn garments. This last 2 years, 2023, 2024, has been really an experimental phase in my journey. Everything I made with Health Hustle was printing garments or embroidering on blanks. Now I'm doing everything from scratch. So the fit, the fabric, I'm working with denim, I'm doing custom hardware on jeans. I'm doing all kinds of different things. I'm working direct to manufacture. And this past 2 years has been an immense learning process of pretty much just losing money and putting all that money into my skills. With fitness coaching, I was able to support myself financially through the whole time. But when I stopped fitness coaching, I had to find other ways to support myself. And I wasn't able to do that through just my clothing brand because of the amount of money I was putting out. I had to work bartending jobs on the side. I had to do other odd jobs. So I would say the key skills that I built in order to make this possible: communicating with manufacturers, creating proper tech packs, working with other creatives, knowing industry rates, how to organize shoots, how to style shoots. I learned a ton about garment construction, about different fabrics you can use, different applications to garments. I learned how to run a Shopify store, do social media rollouts for drops, influencer marketing, how to shoot and edit product shots, packing orders. I mean, the list literally goes on forever. So where am I at now? At this moment in time, I'm a full-time creative. I do design consulting and I run my own clothing brand. My main source of income is design consulting, and my clothing brand, I rarely take any money out. To say that I'm blessed is an understatement because this is something I would have dreamed of 5 years ago. And of course, there's so much that I'm working on and so many goals that I have, but I try to remind myself every day how grateful I am to be in this position today. I pretty much just make content, design clothes, teach others how to do the same. Before, I was really just sharing my life, sharing the things that I was passionate about, and fitness, nutrition, training. But now my content is making a bit of a shift and is speaking directly to the aspiring business owner, the aspiring full-time creative. I'm pretty much just gonna be speaking to my 18-year-old self, someone that wanted to just create for a living, whether it's clothes or any other creative venture, building a creative business, man. There will still be vlogs for sure, travel vlogs, all kinds of stuff, but that's gonna be the basis of my content moving forward. All right, bro. So looking back, it's been 5 years of trial and error, of learning, and of betting on myself. I started with 0 design skills and no idea how to build a brand. I ultimately just had a vision and had discipline. I just had to figure it the fuck out. I had no other option. And now, to this current day, I get to wake up and do what I love. I create, I design, I help others, I make money doing so. It's literally a win-win situation. And again, it's taken me like 5 years to get to this point. And I also feel like I'm just getting started. And I definitely have a lot of hard days too, where I feel very overwhelmed. But I saw this thing on IG the other day and it said, let me find it. If you have someone who loves you, a goal to work towards, and your health, you've already won. If you're in the position where you got your health, you have people in your life that love you, then all it is just having a specific goal and a vision for yourself. And if you have all those 3 things, you've already won. You just have to keep going and keep pursuing this dream of yours. That's what I did, and I'm still just pursuing it. I'm still just at the beginning. So if you're thinking about starting a brand, or if you're scared to begin, like, bro, stop being a bitch and just go and do it. Like, there's no perfect time. Who cares? Like, you're probably gonna fail at the beginning anyways, so you might as well start. Just fucking do it, bro. Just get obsessed with learning and just be consistent. And soon enough, you're just gonna have opportunities flood your way. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the video. Hit the thumbs up, you know what to do. I'll catch you guys in the next video. New format, new content, new Cali G era. Okay, peace.